Okay, welcome back. This is going to be Fidget Spinner design number 4. We're going to make this one an easier one. So let's go back to our pictures and let's look at this one right here. Okay, just want to show you another trick. You can grab that, drag it to the left, and then click on that, SketchUp, have that on the right, and then go down and find the image you want to import in for reference. Let's just grab that and drag it until it lands right there. Then I can minimize that and maximize that. Okay, so we've got some reference. Let's make a new layer. We'll call it Spinner 4. And we'll we'll make Spinner 4 active and then hide Spinner 3. No, we won't. We'll make sure that this picture is on Spinner 4 layer. So, selecting the picture, go to Entity Info, Layer, Spinner 4. Okay, we're good. Now we can turn off Layer Spinner 3. Go to a top view, and let's just move this a little bit. Maybe right about there. And let's draw our central bearing circle. 11mm radius. There we go. And let's just draw the outer triangle first. So this is very similar to the second one we did. So we'll get the polygon tool. We'll go right in there and go straight up by 40mm. Enter. And now we'll highlight the outside line. Go to Entity Info and type in 3. Enter. It's quite good. And now I'm going to show you how to use that arc tool. So we're going to go to arcs, 2-point arc, and we're going to zoom in here. And we're going to only do it on the top. Okay. And I'm going to start, well, let's do it by eye. Maybe right about there. Click once, go straight across, click again. And when it's lined up tangent to the two edges, it goes purple, and it says tangent. If you have it slightly wrong, if I zoom in you'll see what I mean better. If you have it slightly wrong, where it overlaps or it goes outside of the triangle like that, it doesn't look very good. But if you make it go purple, it usually fits, and tangent basically means that it will go smoothly from a straight line into a curve. Now the third click enables you to adjust it even further, but again, you still want to make that purple. So find it where it goes purple and click, and that's perfect. And now what we can do is grab the selection tool, click on that, get our rotate tool there, click again on the origin, go straight up. This is interesting. What have I done wrong here? Got that. Get my rotate tool. Ooh. Doesn't like that. Well, weird things happen all the time, so let's just go with it. I'm going to select, let's rub out what we don't need. We don't need that bit anymore. And the reason I want to rotate it is because I want to make sure it's exactly the same position. And there's many ways to do that, but this is by far the easiest. So let's just highlight that curve. I'll try one more time to rotate it. Maybe if I go there. No, okay, I'll press Control anyway. Ah, that worked. By pressing Control, I'll make a copy of it. It's no longer trying to move that original curve. And remember that the curve is attached to the two lines, so it was trying to move everything. But by pressing Control, I'm dragging a copy, and now I simply type in whatever 360 is divided by 3, which is 120, Enter, and I want 2 copies, so I press X, 2, Enter. Good, problem solved. So the problem was I wasn't pressing Control to make a copy. Now if we look at this, we've got some circles almost going into the center there. Find the midpoint and you'll see that it'll go light blue. There it is. Now I don't want to touch the circle there because that means that there'll be nothing holding the whole fidget spinner together. So I'm going to give it a bit more like that. Or, instead of having the center of the circle there, I wonder if we could have the center of the circle further out to get a different effect, a larger circle, but it doesn't cut halfway through. So let's do that. Let's make a line, and we want to make the line go... I wonder if we can make it perfectly perpendicular. Oh, look at that. Perpendicular to edge. That did it. The reason we did that is we want it to be centered on this line. So I'll get my circle tool now, but instead of starting the circle there, I'll start it out here. And I'm getting a little bit of a larger circle now, see? And now I can rub out the bits I don't want. Okay, and it's a bit choppy. You can see the segments, so let's see if we can fix that. First of all, we want to rub this out too. And we want to highlight the curve and choose, instead of 8, let's try 16. And that made it much smoother. Okay, and now we're going to get the selection tool, select it, get the rotate tool, click on that. And to be honest, it doesn't matter where we click here, but when we rotate, we want to make sure we press Control to make a copy. And then we can type in 120 enter, x2 enter. And that made copies. So we're good there. And I'm not sure what these are. They look like they either go in or out. But I think what I'll do is I'll make something... I think maybe I'll leave it like that. So we'll delete that. Bit of a problem. Let's delete that circle and draw it again and see if it fixes the problem. Get the circle again, go like that, type in 11, enter. Yeah, that fixed it. You get funny little problems like that sometimes. I don't know why, but that fixed it. Let's see, what could we do to make this more interesting? I wonder what would happen if we used the offset tool. No, I think that would give a huge problem. Unless we also offset the circle too, like that, and then rub out the bits we don't need, like that bit, all these, and then that bit and that bit and that bit. It's easy to get carried away with the rubber, so if you ever make a mistake, just remember you can undo it. I just thought of something. Let's undo that. Let's leave those little bits sticking out, because I think they're kind of neat. Oops. Control Z to undo it. That's better. That bit, that bit. Okay, I think we're good. Now I'm gonna delete that, make space for the hole. And I'm gonna delete these bits to make the hole. And then we're going to go to a 3D view and raise it up by 7. Enter. Now, I think that this spinner is probably metal. I bet you that one's completely metal, which makes it all heavier. Because if we 3D print this one, it'll look good, but it won't spin very far because it's so light. But, there we go, there's another one. Okay. This is quite a short video, so I think I'll do another one in the same video. So let's go to a top view. Let's make a new layer, call it Spinner 5, and let's make that the active layer, hide Spinner 4, and let's look at our pictures and see if there's anything. I really want to do something like this, they're pretty cool. So let's look at that. I just dragged it onto my SketchUp canvas, and then I'll get my move tool, move over there for a minute. Now, we're not going to make it this complicated, but we'll do something interesting. So we'll get the circle, click in the center, go out 11. Something weird happening here. Something not quite right. Oh, I know what's going on here. Right, Spinner 5 is not a group. So even though the layer was hidden, sorry, Spinner 4 I should say, right? Even though the layer was hidden, when I started drawing Spinner 5, because this isn't a group, Spinner 5 started merging with Spinner 4. So I forgot to turn Spinner 4 into a group. So triple click it, edit, make group. Now I can hide it and be free to draw Spinner 5 without it merging with Spinner 4. So get to a top view. I'm glad that happened because now I could teach you about having not grouped something, you get a problem. So 11, enter. And let's get that picture back. And let's move it over there for reference. And we're just going to make one and then copy it over or rotate it around. So I think what I'll do is just start with the line tool and just do it by eye. So I'm going to go like that, that, very roughly. And we're going to turn those lines into curves in a minute. If it's difficult, you can just zoom in a bit. Sometimes it makes it a bit easier. I have no idea if it's going to work, so we'll see. I'm going to end it there, and I'm going to show you how I can start to add some curves. I think I will finish this bit here. Add a little bit of detail, and then go like this, and then maybe end it there. Okay, so here's how to add some curves. So I'm going to go to this 2-point curve again, like that, and I'm going to click there, and then just go to the middle here and bend this out until I like it. Maybe about there. And at that point I can rub out the original line, just like so. Okay, I can do the same thing with this inner curve, so click there, and do that, but I want to make sure I don't go too far, because then it's self-intersecting, and that's no good. So maybe something about like that, and then rub out the one I don't want. So, and incidentally, if there's a line there that just doesn't look right, you can either delete it and start over again, or when you draw your 2-point curve, you don't have to start at the end point. Of course, that line segment looks too long to me compared to that one right there. So I could, if I wanted to, start drawing my curve there instead of at the end. Okay, so let's do that. And when you're zoomed out, it might be hard to do that. So you simply zoom in, click where you want to start it, and then if you need to, zoom out, click on the other point there, and then click where you want to end it. Now I'm actually not very happy with that, so I'm going to, I think, rub these out. And let's see if I can start that little bit again. From there, maybe at an angle like that. Escape. From here, maybe a bit further out that way. I'm trying to get the overall shape about right. And then say escape. Then I can get my curve tool, click from there to that endpoint, and then stretch it out until I like it. Okay, and then I can go from there to there, go inwards until I like it. Pretty close. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's pretty close. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, I'm going to rub these two out. And let's see, am I missing anything? Yes, I need the spinner to have a case that's larger than the actual bearing. Otherwise there's nothing to hold the two sides on. So I'll get my circle tool, and if it's 11, then I want to make it at least 3 bigger. So 11 plus 3 is 14. That looks about right to me. Now I can rub out that bit and that bit, and I can rub out that bit, and now I want to select pretty much everything. Let's do something. Let's try something. If I rotated that, I wonder what would happen. Look at that. Okay, so that's the way to do it. Don't rub out that line, because if I don't rub out that line, I can simply just click on that entire shape, right? If I rubbed out that line, like I was going to suggest, then I would actually need to highlight every little line segment and hold down the Shift key and add, and that's just a pain. So instead, leave that line there so I can just click on that surface, get my rotate tool, click on the center, click out to the right there, type in Control, and now I want to type in 180, enter, and that's my copy. And now I can get my rubber, do that and that. I can delete the center now, go to my 3D view, push pull, 7, but we're not going to stop there, we're going to do some extra things for this one. So let's go back to a top view, and let's start drawing a couple little details just for fun. Okay, so we're going to add this little circle, and I'm not going to worry about the number because I know that that won't 3D print very well, but we can actually make a little divot, a little indentation. So to do that, we're going to get the circle tool, and I'm just going to place it by eye, right about there. And I'm going to copy that first to the other side. So select that circle, get my rotate tool, make sure I'm in a top view, click on this origin, click out there, start moving, press Control to make a copy, type in 180 degrees, enter. Okay. And now I'm going to go to a 3D view, get my push-pull tool, and I'm going to push it down by clicking on the surface, push down, type in 2, enter. And it remembers the 2, so I can double-click this one, and it makes it 2 as well. Okay, so I've got that. Let's go back to the top view. Let's add a couple of these other little details. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is draw a little line from here to here. You'll see why. Now I'm going to get my offset tool, which is this one. I'm going to click in here and go in until it looks kind of cool. Click. And now I'm going to click on that surface, get my rotate tool, click on the center, click outwards, type Control, type in 180, enter. And I'm going to go back to a 3D view, go to my push-pull tool, and it will remember. I want to deselect everything, so deselect everything, get my push-pull tool, and let's just push this down the same amount, so 2 millimeters. I can click. I could push it up 2 millimeters, but I want to keep everything within the 7 millimeter thickness. So I'm going to push down 2 millimeters, type in 2, enter, and double click this one. And I need to rub out that little line there, so I'll get my rubber, rub out that little line there. Okay, let's go back to a top view. Look at the other one. Look at these little lines that are kind of interesting. So I'm wondering where we could put those. I think on this it goes there, but I'm going to move them just for effect. I'm going to put them right along this little edge here. So to do them, I'm going to grab a rectangle. Rectangle. I'm going to click there, and then I'm going to just type in, looking at the value in the bottom right hand corner, it looks like 2 and then 1. So I'm going to type in 2, 1, enter. And then I'm going to do the same thing. 2, 1, enter. 2, 1, enter. I'm sure you can figure out that I could have copied this instead. 2, 1, enter. One more. 2, 1, enter. Now I'm going to get my rubber. Rub this one out, rub this one out, rub this one out. Okay, now I'm going to go to a 3D view. By just pressing my middle mouse wheel, it turns it into orbit. No, I don't. I want to stay in the top view and copy them first. I don't want to turn them 3D until I've copied the shapes. So to copy those shapes, I'm actually just going to highlight that, and that. Get my rotate tool, click on the center there, click outwards directly to the right, type in Control to make a copy, type in 180, enter. Beautiful. Now I'm going to rotate to an angle there, and I think I'll make those go down only 1 millimeter. So get my push-pull tool. Make sure nothing is selected, because if you've got something else selected, like that surface up there, and you try to use your push-pull tool on these, it won't work. So get your selection tool, click on something where it's not touching anything, then get your push-pull tool. Click on that, push down, type in 1, enter. And then I can double-click on that one, and that one. Double-click on that one, that one, that one. And now I'm just going to grab the whole thing and say Edit, Make Group. Let's give it a color. Let's make this one green. And I think you already know how to add the bearings, so I'll leave that bit out.